Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. We have so much to talk about today. So much is Trent. What do you mean?
I'm excited.
Have you been here? Have you been in my realm of life in the last week? What do you mean?
I feel I've been coasting. Like I've been in this realm between sleeping and
if this is your first
living.
time listening to the Fitish podcast, Fran is my partner in life, so I'm a little surprised that he wouldn't know what's been going on in the last 7 days. We have some tragic news to fill you in on. We have
happy news. We
are very sleep deprived. I'm talking differently because my throat's very sore, and
Are we gonna tell him what's gonna happen in 9 months?
I'm hoping that it's not just that. No, I'm not pregnant. I have a horrible period. Yeah, that's what happens after you have a baby too. Apparently, no. Every time I get a period, I'm like shit, and I'm like, never mind. This is celebratory.
Everybody,
I'm not pregnant. What?
Everybody goes shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I feel like Fran goes shit because he's like, fuck, we already haven't had sex in days, and now she has her period, and she's definitely not going to want to have sex. And my mom's right through the glass right now.
It's not even about the sex. The crank.
The crank? I'm not cranky when I have my period. I'm fucking tired. Look at me right now. I'm tired.
Oh, you look beautiful.
2 glasses of champagne at my lunch today.
Oh, wow.
I had a ladies' lunch.
Cool. I said hi to you. I went down.
Yeah, for a brief second, you came and said hello. I'm trying to make new mom friends, so I had a ladies' lunch. Well, she's a fellow business owner, so I feel like it's work-related. You know what's funny? I never thought about when we went to split. Why did my mom just go sprinting by the window, by the way? That's always concerning when someone sprints by the window. What's wrong, Fran?
I don't know.
I shouldn't have even said anything, and I apologize. You'll see that Fran it still remains.
He's still in the seat.
Fran, he is fine. If he is in his
just don't like
chair,
when people say that someone is fine when we actually don't know.
Y'all, like, Fran we could talk for hours today, but we're not going to talk for hours. We're going to get to the point. We celebrated Remy's first birthday.
Yes, and I'm going to take that $100 that I promised you all because nobody won. Everybody sent really good ideas and really cool themes that could have worked, but
no one guessed it. And it makes me very proud because that means my creative limits are far beyond guessing.
But you know that employee that you have, Danny?
That employee?
The old one?
You're just saying that because you know she listens.
She wanted to bamboozle me. Like, she's like, oh, the theme is going to be this.
Remy's first tour. Yeah, Remy's first tour. I have the posters actually sitting in here in the office on the ground. I'm going to frame one. But y'all made me feel all the comments on the photo when I posted it, y'all loved the theme idea, which makes me very proud because I thought very hard about a theme because y'all that listen, which makes me very happy, you know me pretty well. You like me, you like my thoughts, you like my annoying tendencies, and you liked the theme. And it complimented me because I'm like, I came up with that on my own and I was proud of it. I liked it because you all know I like to kind of go and do things differently. And even my friend Claudia, who's my creative Halloween friend, was like, Jenna, you outdid yourself. This was really good. I'm like, thank you. So no, she's looking to make merch. So I went down between Remy's first trip, and I was going to make it mushroom themed and do the psychedelic adventure. But I thought,
yeah, I'm very happy with you.
Remy's first trip sounds pretty druggy, considering I don't even trip these days, or like ever. But I thought that'd be a cute idea. And then I landed on Remy's first tour with the whole music theme because that's how I'm doing his nursery. Like, I've made albums. Do you even know this yet? I've made albums with some of my favorite bands, but with Remy's name integrated.
Yeah, I love it.
I love Radiohead, so it's like the Radiohead logo with Remy Head. But I'm glad you all liked it, and everyone asked if I could start a business doing that for them. So now Danny and I are considering it. We think this could be a nice business. We could do custom, edgy birthday themes.
I agree, babe.
And tour merch. But so we had a little bit of a hiccup before his birthday, actually. So for the first time since Remy's been born, we had one of those nights last week where you were just about to get home from work. I was alone with Remy. It was about dinner time, and he lost his mind. He had been fine. We were playing, and he just got inconsolable crying. I go, oh, he's hungry. Something's going on. We just transitioned to milk from formula. I was like, I'm just not feeding him correctly. Something's up. But then it continued throughout the night, on and off, pretty incessantly. And I mean, all night. Fran and I were up almost the whole night trying to comfort him. It was rough. And so you made an appointment in the morning to take him to the doctor because it sounded like he was in pain. And We took him to the doctor. She's examining him. And sure enough, she looks in both his ears and was like, oh, yeah, double bad ear infection. Fran and I looked at each other. We felt so awful. And she laughed at us. She's like, it's fine. Y'all both gave each other this look of like, oh my God, we feel like terrible parents.
Oh, he wakes up, like he had a horrible time sleeping and wakes up burning in
fever. Yeah.
So
this was the day before his birthday. He's at the doctor. We got him on antibiotics. He was still not doing great. And we were like, So we weren't going to have a party. It was just Fran, my mom, and I with tour merch. And I made him a smash cake from scratch. And it was a good day. He loved some of his little presents.
It was an amazing day.
We just kind of hung out here by ourselves all day. That was the vibe.
He got so many presents, that little rascal.
There's too many presents.
Not too many. I don't think there's such a thing as too many presents. But he got so many. He got
like 6 or 7 things, and he only likes one of them. Yeah, because that's how it goes.
Yeah, no, but I think he was so happy with that cozy coop that you got her.
Yeah, the dino, the cozy coop. Yeah, he really liked it. So anyway, it was nice. But yes, I am taking all requests. I mean, I'm happy. Like, if y'all will pay me a little bit of money for it, I will create concert posters, tour merch, or if you want me to just come up with a theme based on your and your husband's interests, or you and your partner's interests, and what you think would be fun for your child, I'm actually happy to do it. So I'm really flattered.
Economy, if you want her to go to the party, she will also.
I will also make an appearance. I will dress up. Yeah, it's
bachelor parties, bachelorettes, like whatever, kids parties, anything.
So now you're prostituting me.
Me also. I was about to say me también. Like,
me también.
Me también. I'll also go.
So it was nice. And then today, so that was just this last weekend. And today we had to go back to the doctor because since he turned a year, it was his 12-month appointment. And that was full of fun, full of shots. And that poor thing, he's like, never going to trust this doctor again. He's looking at everyone in those masks like, what do you have in there? He's starting to learn, So yeah, he had to get pricked and 3 shots. And he's like a little boy now, though. He's hanging
No, I
there.
saw him when I got here. He was Googling new pediatricians. Crazy.
Oh man,
he wants to go holistic. This Western medicine is not his thing.
So I had such a weird experience, and I know I said I tease tragic news, which I feel like you should never tease tragic news. But those of you that listen, you've known about this thing in my life for a long time, and it's really sad. But I was at Party City. Okay, I'm just painting a picture here. I was at Party City, and I was trying to pick some stuff out. That's also where I was like, why is everything so like masculine and feminine and these like themes? And I just wasn't finding anything I liked. I had ordered some balloons I wanted to get filled, so I'm dropping them off. And I'm there and my mom calls me. I'm in the middle of like the balloon aisle trying to find some more balloons. And my mom's like, well, Weezy's gonna die. And I'm like, wow, Mom, that was a nice.
Is that how she framed it?
She goes, not good news about Weezy, Jenna. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured. She's been peeing blood around the house. So she's like, yep, it's cancer.
I just
she's
thought she
gonna
was
die.
Like she all of the sudden regained her reproductive.
Oh, you thought she had a doggy period?
Yeah, I thought like maybe she's just like.
You thought drops of blood and urine were a period? Well, it's usually a different thing, but yeah, I see how you might have thought that.
I know
you don't know the female body very well. Yeah. Well, it would kind of be like if you had drops of blood in your pee. You would think like, well, that's probably not good, right?
Male period.
A male period, yeah. Mm-hmm. That popular male period. Yeah. Great friend. So Weezy has a mass in her bladder that's cancer, and that's where we're at with her. So it's sad. This is the thing about having dogs, and I don't think it's going to come across as insensitive. It's just, this is a decision I personally made a very long time ago because I've always had pugs. I've lost a few dogs throughout my life because this is what happens. We usually tend to outlive our pets, and it's hard. And then you say, you're never going to get another one. And then you get another one and you have to go through it all again. But Weezy's 12. It's possible she's older. I rescued her and they thought she was 2. So I know at a minimum she's 12 years old. She's been one of the best dogs I've ever had. She's had such a great life. And after I had to put my last pug to sleep when he had the diabetes and he went blind and deaf, and then I put him to sleep, I made a pact with myself with that dog that once a dog was clearly in pain and not enjoying life anymore. I was not going to go a day longer because I think it's such an amazing thing we're able to do to dogs. And I know there's a few places in the world we're allowed to do this as humans, but to put a dog out of its misery. And it's actually like a really peaceful thing. And as sad as that day was, and as sad as it was so just walking you through the process of putting a dog to sleep, if you've never had to do it or if you might have to do it and maybe you've done it. But knowing that a dog is going to pass away before they pass away is really a blessing because you get to appreciate the time that you spend with them. You get to, take them to the park more, be more engaged and present with them. And then when you go to put them to sleep, you tend to have those moments of, are they going to be in pain? And I remember when I put Max to sleep, my girlfriends and I took him to McDonald's. We took him in. They had like a candlelit room. They made it special and it was a normal vet room, which was nice. They like hung rainbow bridge art in there. I don't know. It was kind of interesting, but they had a little bed and we brought his blanket and they just like give him the IV and they get him to go to sleep first. He started snoring and then we all kind of laughed. So he was literally like put to sleep and then they give him something else to stop the heart. So yeah, it's very sad because you know what's happening and it's really heavy, but it's so peaceful and painless for them. And that's the situation we're going to find ourselves in here. So they said she has 6 months to live, maybe. And right now she's fine. Other than peeing everywhere and not being able to hold it, she's happy. She's playing. She loves Remy. So we're going to enjoy it. And they offered to do some sort of, they can like draw fluid out of her. They can put her through chemotherapy. I can spend thousands and thousands of dollars that we don't have to spend as a family to prolong her life to maybe 12 more months. And that is just, I know it's not even really up for conversation with us, but like, that's how I feel. Like, I know she's my dog at the end of the day. And I'm not going to do something like that to try and prolong her life at this age for another 6 months. So we're going to try and treat the symptoms. And she doesn't seem to be in any pain right now. But yeah, they said that's what's going to happen. The process is that's going to grow. And then it's going to put pressure on other organs. I don't know what's going to happen, but so we're just going to deal with it for now. I know. It's so sad. I am sad about it. But like, she's a dog and we have to just enjoy our time with her. Sure. She's had a great life. She's been my Halloween buddy. She might not make it to this Halloween and that's what we have to deal with.
Yeah, no, it's just so sad because I just have never understood it.
Why we have pets?
Well, I have had pets my entire life, yet I don't understand why. Like, I get the whole connection and it's amazing. Like, I think we see such an amazing dog and we have had both great dogs in our past, but it's just such a short period of time that it's just.
I know, but I know you're not the first person to say that to me. And I don't feel the same way because I know that it's hard that we get dogs and we know we're going to have to go through the pain of losing them. But she's brought so much joy to my life all of these years. And she has had such a good life. And I feel really good about it because I've been very present with her. She got to go to Mexico. She's international.
Yeah.
They had to search. They searched her for drugs.
She got a finger in her butt.
Yeah, like she was a drug smuggler. She has a doggy passport.
You know how many dogs don't get to have a finger in the butt?
I don't know. How many dogs don't get to have a finger in their butt? All the dogs you haven't met?
That's a lot of
just the dogs you haven't met?
There's a complaint, a public complaint on the social media. Like, hey, I'm single, haven't gotten a finger up my butt.
So anyway, I just wanted to get that news out there because it was weird to be in a party store and get that news too. I've been in some weird places. I'm lucky. I don't even want to put it out there, actually. I hate when I make statements like this because then it makes me paranoid that something bad's going to happen. So I hope that doesn't. But you're all witness to it because it's like when I got the news that kid died, I don't know if you know this precisely, but I was actually the first one to get that news because the driver of the car had my cell phone number because I had done an event alone at the hospital for all the girls, the glamour thing at the hospital the night before in New Orleans. And so this driver had my phone number. I actually really haven't told the story this way publicly, but I'm comfortable doing it. And so we were in the middle of a Mardi Gras event at a country club with hundreds of people around. And I'm standing there and I knew that kid had been sick because him and I had been warming up on the driving range and George took him back to the bus and they got on the bus he didn't feel good. And he's like, I got to go lay down. And so we dropped him off in the golf cart and I went back into the event. And it was about an hour and a half later. And I get a phone call from the driver and he's screaming, crying at me, going, kid's dead, kid's dead. You never know how you're going to react when that happens. And JC and Al were standing next to me and I threw my phone on the ground and I looked at JC and I'm like, kid's dead. And JC like grabbed me and someone else grabbed me and like took me around the corner because I'm in the middle of all these people. No one heard this right at the time, but I kind of fell on my knees on the ground because I'm like, oh my God. And I just knew it was true. I knew it was true. And it's just so strange because I know a lot of us have probably gotten really bad news, but it's like you almost never forget, like that moment for me stands out in my mind so much when you get horrible news and you're in this environment, right? That's like, I mean, there was like a band playing. It was celebratory. If any of you are listening and you happen to be there that day, like it was just crazy because then, of course, I have Kelly and Al like being like, no, he's not. No, he's not. George called me. He's not. Because I think George called and like lied to them and was like, y'all need to come to the hospital. But I just knew it was true. Like I just felt it. Like I knew it was true. And so did JC. Like we just both knew it was true. So that whole drive to the hospital was so weird. And it was so strange because they had to like usher us out of this place. I would kind of black out. I don't even remember all of it from there, but it was true, and like that whole situation was so weird because everyone's partying. Like it wasn't, I mean, obviously this was in the summer, so it wasn't Mardi Gras, but it was in New Orleans. So it was like a Mardi Gras themed thing. And we had this whole band. And so everyone's partying. And it was just so weird when you get this awful news and everyone's so happy because we were having this charity event and everyone's celebrating. And it's just, the world just kind of stops, and I just like kind of reminded me of that. And I know this was Weezy and it's not nearly as serious as what happened with Kid, but I'm in the middle of a party store and everyone's wearing Mardi Gras clothes. And I think I just had this moment of like, like it kind of
like
brought
a
me
little
back.
flashback.
A little bit because there were people in there in Mardi Gras masks and it like brought me back to that moment of like, why am I in this weird? So you almost feel kind of an out of body experience, right?
No, for sure.
Like getting this news in a happy place.
I think those things mark you for life.
It's weird, yeah, because after that happened, I spent many years, every time I'd get a phone call from anyone that I loved, thinking it was going to be bad news. That's like kind of the post-traumatic I dealt with, is that I felt that anytime I had a few missed calls from my mom, for instance, I'd be like, oh my God, something bad has happened, It almost kind of continues with you for a long time, right? When you get bad news and you just kind of start to live differently and feel that way. Well, I mean, on that note, this episode of the Fitish podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp's been a sponsor of the podcast for a long time because I am such a big believer in the importance of treating your mental health. And if you are going through a period of grief, for instance, I posted something, I was feeling a little sentimental after going through a year of motherhood, and it's a wild ride. And I've gotten a lot of messages from a lot of you about struggling postpartum and how hard that is. And mental health therapy is so critical at different periods of your life. BetterHelp is such a wonderful partner of the show, and what a great opportunity you have to reach out. You don't have to turn on your camera. You can do this virtually. You don't have to get out of bed, right? They will match you up with someone. Just by answering a few questions, you can figure out, exactly what kind of therapist is right for you. They will put you in touch with someone so you don't have to leave the house. But if you are struggling with postpartum, with your relationship, with any situation you're in, reach out and seek help. And BetterHelp is such a great provider of that because, again, it's more affordable than other in-person therapies. So that's number one. You can get that excuse out of the way. It's too expensive. It's more affordable. And it's so convenient because you can be so depressed in your bed and you can get on your computer or on your phone.
Something that is very important, like you mentioned, like if you have problems or you feel depressed, sometimes the best help that you can give to yourself is one before shit happens.
Yeah.
So even if you feel that everything is okay, talking to someone is always good. Like having that helps you guide through your life and guide through the problems for minimum or big that they could be.
That's the thing I found about therapy and BetterHelp. They will give you coping skills, and it's sometimes nice to know that what you're feeling is normal and that there's someone there that understands it and can kind of help guide you through that. So if you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can help get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/Fitish today to get 10% off your first month. Again, this therapy is already more affordable than other local in-person therapy you might find. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Fitish. So yeah, we're going to enjoy our time that we have with Weezy. And I still continue to tell myself that losing people unexpectedly is so difficult. Losing people or pets or anything in general is unimaginably hard, right? And you just have to kind of trudge through it. But when you know, sometimes it's a blessing, when you at least know. And I keep saying that to myself. I mean, what if she went out here? I mean, we've been hearing reports about animals getting picked up by hawks and coyotes. And if that happened in front of me, I'd be like, oh man, that was
Yeah.
awful. I didn't get to say bye.
But the reason that we haven't gotten attacked by a hawk is because we've been actually listening to the birds.
We've been listening to the birds.
Yeah, so the birds let us know when the hawks are around.
But no, I'm just saying that because I try to look at it as if you know that she's terminal and she's lived a good life, then you kind of live every, you do these, I called it the Pugget list. Like I came up with stuff to do with Max. I never got to take him to the beach, but I came up with stuff to do for him. So we really enjoyed when I knew that I probably only had a year left. It ended up being only about 6 months, but man, I spent so much good time with him that I felt better about it, like I felt like I had been, because let's be real, like I haven't given Weezy the attention in the last year since I've had a baby that I did in all the other years. My mom's been really helping us with her, and she doesn't get the same amount of attention. Y'all that have kids and pets know that that's how it goes. And so now it's kind of allowing me an opportunity to bond with her again, a little more.
Yeah, I think that's a blessing in disguise, knowing that it's going to happen. And I think it's also for pets and humans. I think when you're able to close circles and go through that with a different eye.
We have some questions. Let's stop talking about our dog dying and answer some questions. When will we know about Super Futured? Very good question.
In the future.
This is the place, just so y'all know, like this would be the environment that I would tell you exactly what this business is. So we have only talked about it the one time. You have to go sign up. I believe we're hoping for about a month, maybe less, before we actually just launch it, but we're probably going to sell out of it. So you just need to sign up and get the email. And if you decide I'm not interested in it, that's fine, because it is something very different than what you're used to me doing. Those of you that have listened to the podcast know this is something I've wanted to do. So you can already kind of maybe have an idea of what it is. We're really excited about it though. And it's something that doesn't really exist right now. So hopefully it'll be great, but yes, it is a different kind of business, and it's not for everyone, but it is for those of you that want a little something special. But yeah, I think we're thinking like 3 or 4 weeks from now. But we don't have a lot of it for the first round. So,
but it's going to be really good. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, our goal, we're not saying anything about what it is because we just want you to sign up for it, and then we'll see. And we'll talk about it all the time. But that's great. We have so many great questions because we didn't get to a lot last week. I hope you all liked the guest on the show. How do you plan on teaching Remy Spanish?
So that's an excellent question. I think I exclusively talk to him in Spanish, and we have a nanny that exclusively talks to him in Spanish. I think we might have him also in Spanish classes. Maybe I'll go also to get a refresher on my grammar. But yeah, that's the way I think it'll happen.
We've looked into, it sounds crazy because it seems kind of all over the place, but everyone has told us the way to teach a kid to be truly bilingual is for one parent to speak almost exclusively, I mean, I would say you don't really speak English, maybe occasionally. I mean, to me, you speak English, but Fran's only Spanish. Our nanny's both. I think Fran's been bullying her into speaking only Spanish, I've noticed. No, but she speaks both to him, I think.
Not that she speaks English.
She does speak English.
I'm just kidding.
Her Spanish is better. Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of miscommunication. And then I speak English, and someone warned me, even if you know some words in Spanish, don't do it. It will confuse him. So every now and then, we're like watching, what's her name? Miss Annabelle, Lisa? Alejandra. And she's like, it's like a sadder version of Miss Rachel.
It's just not sadder. I think she just needs a punch.
It's a lower budget.
Miss Rachel has like this attitude, like everything is happy, everything is like so exciting. And Miss Alejandra is more tamed. Like Miss Alejandra talks softer.
It's lower budget, and sometimes the songs are kind of like. Have
But-
you listened to some of the songs after listening to Miss Rachel's songs?
Yeah, it's just the same songs but with different lyrics.
Because man, fucking Spanish, dude, like it is so wordy as hell. And so when you're trying to match up, like Daddy Shark, Grandma Shark, and she's signing it, say Grandma Shark. It's like, what is Shark?
Tiburón.
Yeah, it's like
Abuela Tiburón.
Tiburón. It just doesn't like fall off the tongue like Grandma Shark does. But so they're matching up to all the English ones. However, I noticed that now Fran plays that, so it's good. I actually like her. It seems good. So then I catch myself trying to say something in Spanish to Remy because I'm singing along with the show, and I'm like, nope, don't do it. And everyone says that that's the best way to teach them to be bilingual. And I think the biggest mistake I've heard from my own friends that speak Spanish, that their parents started falling off with other kids because kids go to school and then they don't want to speak Spanish as much. They're like, no, my friends speak English, and they start becoming that way. And then the parents will go into English all the time, right? So I think it's really going to be more on Fran to speak more Spanish.
Yeah,
and then
100%.
hopefully I can start learning more, and then you and I can speak it occasionally too.
Yeah. No, my goal is for him to speak fluent Spanglish.
Fluent Spanglish?
Yeah.
That's your goal? The big
No, to
goal.
be fluent in Spanish and not to make him a no sabo kid. You know.
This is a nice question. How is being a parent different than you expected? Congrats on making it through the first year.
We made it.
Barely hanging on by a thread.
No, I think we're strong. We're tired as fuck, but we're not hanging on by a thread.
This is how it's different for me. I'll just tackle this because you seem to have coped with this a lot better than I did. Different than how I expected. I actually had a conversation today with a college girlfriend of mine who lives in DC. She has like somewhat what I would have done if I didn't do this with my life, or if I had been maybe smarter, but she is a, hardcore psychologist with like 2 different masters. And so she's more knowledgeable than I am. And of course, she puts things so succinctly and beautifully. And she goes, Jen, I never gave you my lecture. She just had her second child on the identity crisis of becoming a mother. And she put it so well, about how we kind of she refers to it as like losing your maidenhood and kind of grieving the old life. But for me, I think that's what I've struggled with the most, and that no one really prepares you for, is that you are a new person overnight all of a sudden. And that's parenthood for me. Now, this is amazing. I mean, now it's taken me a long time though, y'all, to be some women overnight are like, I was born to be a mom. I love this. And I'm like, no, I don't love this. I'm freaked. I love it, but I also hate it. And what happened to the old me? And like life used to be easier and I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to it, but I love this. And so it's this kind of weird dichotomy. And oh my gosh, life is so much more fulfilling than I ever could have known. But everything has changed for me. Like my purpose for living, my goals, my aspirations, why I want to be successful, why I want to, everything on a day-to-day has changed, like what I want out of my life has changed. And I just didn't anticipate that. So for me, that's really the primary thing about parenthood, is how much it changes your own identity completely. It's like you wake up all of a sudden, I'm almost 40 years old and I didn't even recognize myself, What about you?
What is the question? Sorry, I was like sleeping. No, I was kidding.
Fuck you. You're not even listening to me.
I did.
I posted that whole thing last night. You know what he says to me to the doctor? He goes, wow, that shirt's see-through. And I'm like, how about my entire 2,200 character post about becoming a mother?
What?
You're mad about my nipple?
So I think I'm one of those moms, but in a dad version, because
One
it
of
literally,
what moms?
I think I was born to be a dad, and I didn't know. I thought for a while that I was never. There was a point in my life that I was completely against it, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, and it's just incredible. Like I cannot explain, I cannot pinpoint, but it just, yeah, like it's the whole purpose. you're right. Like the purpose of living just shifts, and your happiness becomes second, not second in a way that it's a negative thing. It's just like you just want to see him excel.
Yeah.
I think that's becomes priority number one in everything. Like priority number one in every action you do in your life. For example, I was about to buy a toy, and I decided not to because I couldn't fit him.
Is what?
I couldn't fit Remy in it. The Vanderhole I was about to get.
Oh, you mean not a toy? When you said it that way, it sounded like you were trying to buy a toy for Remy. You were about to buy a toy for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the full adapting to fatherhood, right? You've handled it really well. I mean, I make no secret of that. I brag about it. I mean, you're such a hands-on great dad, you know? I think that someone's going to ask, and we'll touch base on this kind of like with intimacy and stuff. And I actually asked my therapist friend about that today. I go, what about your relationship? He goes, what relationship? She goes, I'm a psychiatrist. I know usually all the answers and all the solutions to issues. And she goes, there's just, you have to recognize, as long as both people on the same page, she said they had a 9-year relationship before having kids. She goes, I think we're still running on battery from the 9 years that we had together, because right now, like, we have almost no bandwidth to give or receive attention from one another. Because that's where I've struggled a lot with you, is that she's like, how do you even have time to receive attention from Fran? And I'm like, well, between like 7:30 and 9 p.m. And she's like, kind of laughs, like, you mean when Remy goes to bed? I'm like, yeah, but then that's usually a time like he's unwinding, and, we have to like really make a concerted effort to even have a little bit of time for each other, because you have so much love for him. I think that's what's hard, right? Like, we all have a lot of love, but like, it's kind of hard. We come last to each other, I'm sure, right? But I guess she said the advice is more just, as long as you're all on the same page, that you're okay with the balance of power, you're okay with how things are. You both just have to kind of suspend for a few years for the end goal, and know that, you carve it out a little bit, keep each other happy, and know at some point you'll have more time for each other again. But right now, like, the main goal is to create positive attachments with your children.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we're on the same page when it comes to that.
Someone asked us, Fran, actually, advice on incorporating any intimacy with all of the transition and adjustments of having little ones.
Well, if you know the answer, just send it our way. Because if you're looking for answers here,
Fran nailed Valentine's Day for the most part. He kicked me out, but
the most part. Fuck. What did I fucked up?
Didn't.
So why the most part, not the all part?
Well, because you didn't want to spend it with me.
I wanted to spend it with you, but I know that you needed a massage.
He sent me off for a massage. No, it was great. I was like, saying you nailed it. Part. And then you took Remy on a boys' date.
We went on the yeah.
Yeah. We sent me off for a massage, which was great. But people are so astute. So many of y'all wrote me when I posted, and you were like, oh, so Fran didn't do a party bus. He finally figured it out. People are so funny. I love how well they know us.
And I told her, you people listen to this. I'm not going to surprise her. I told her, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this for your birthday. It's a year and yay. Great. Cool. That's it. I'm not going to go out of my way trying to make anything grandiose that I think.
A hissy fit coming from an almost 40-year-old man. Like, I didn't want a party bus. I was unhappy with that. I was
the party bus was about to be like at 2% of the whole experience.
2.5 months postpartum. I was feeling a fucking mess. I hear through the grapevine that you're about to get a party bus to fucking Frisco. For me, what? I'm breastfeeding. I'm not drinking. Like, what's happening here? And I like reacted negatively and was like, can we please just go to like a bar and have a beer and sit outside with like my best girlfriend and her husband? That's all I wanted to do. Just get out of the house for a second. That's what I wanted. And now you're punishing me. He goes, I was thinking about maybe like going to the beach with you and Remy for your birthday, but I don't know. I'm not going to surprise you. And I'm like, well, that would be amazing.
No. I didn't put it that way. I said, I'm thinking to doing that for your birthday. Do you like that? Yes. I never make the other second part that you did.
But you're not going to surprise me.
You yeah. No, I'm not going to surprise you. That's why I told you what I was planning to do.
I never said I don't like surprises. I just feel that if you know me really well, you could surprise me with things that I like.
Well, maybe in the next 5-7 years,
It's
I'll
funny,
get to know
isn't
you
it,
very
with
well.
relationships? Because it's like for your birthday, I thought you would love a surprise party with friends around. Like, I wouldn't like that sort of thing. But it's like, I feel like in a relationship, the reason I get offended more is not the party bus. It's because the words party bus are like two of my least favorite pairings of words. Like, as a human, like, I don't like that at all, right? Like everything about Jenna, like, I don't know what about me
Well,
says
it
I
was
want
more
like
like
party
the
bus.
things that you people in this conversation got fixated.
Yeah, but it
Let me
feels
just
like
finish.
to me and to the audience like you don't know me.
It wasn't a party bus what I was trying to. I was trying to get a limo where we were 3 couples, 6 people, could have been 4 couples, which is 8 people. So I wanted us all in the same vehicle because we were going to a really nice restaurant in Frisco. I didn't want people driving or getting Ubers. So I said, we're going to get a limo or a party bus or something for the commute. We weren't about to go around. And yes, to your point about you surprise people with things that you know they like or you know they don't like you went out of your way, did a surprise party, which was amazing. But if we would have done a surprise pajama party, only the 2 of us, or if you would have done
Isn't that every night? Isn't that a surprise pajama party?
Yeah, there's no surprise on that. Or we would have gone to like a hike in White Rock Lake, and you would have surprised me with that. Like, it's just about the fact that you're getting surprised that someone is thinking about you in a certain way with the main purpose of making you happy. Probably they don't nail to the T what that is, but it's just knowing that there's a lot of love behind it.
Of course there is, but it's also feeling that you're listened to by your partner. And so
What?
I can't. I'm not ungrateful about the love that you have for me. I think as a woman, it's that we constantly feel like we're not listened to. So it would be like, wow, Jenna loves whatever. But like, let's say I tell you all the time how much I hate anything. And like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And you're like, well, I really love you. And it was a surprise, but I bought you this. It's like, but I constantly tell you how much I don't like that. Like, whenever we would see party buses, I used to tell you, like, that's my worst nightmare. It's like a proposal when I'm like, my worst nightmare would be like you having a bunch of people on like a live video watching, and you did that.
It was all a family.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of people.
Live stream. But you know what I mean? You're like, I did that. Live streaming.
So you're telling me in front of everybody that you also hated your proposal?
No, I didn't hate it. It was more, I was just making an example. No, I didn't hate it.
So that's where we're at.
What?
Well, so now we have fixed all those type of deals because you will know up front everything that is being planned and you will be able to tweak it to your 100% liking.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's so exciting for the rest of my life that you won't surprise me again because I didn't want a party bus.
No, not because of that. Just because I think sometimes you're very, as I told you from the get-go, you're like a very precise machine. Like, you know exactly what you like and what you don't like, and deviating is it's just when you have something that is like a masterpiece of engineer that it has to be exact. I'm a little more flexible in the world. I'm a less complex piece of engineering. Like, you're like a Swiss clock. I'm like one of those donkeys that you wind and they just jump.
Babe, it's not that complicated. I'm not that complicated for wanting to have a beer on a patio.
No, for sure. But I felt that if I would have done a beer on the patio, you would have won some. So I
see. You just feel like
dabble,
you
yeah.
can't figure me out.
Sometimes.
I'm just keeping you on your toes.
For sure. 100%.
You know something we do agree on? Good meat.
That's something we do agree on.
I had a nice steak today, and we've gotten this subscription from Butcher Box, who's a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. And I've always struggled with grocery store meat shopping. I mean, I know we have some good produce, so, we have some good stores in town, but it's a grind to go to the store and be like, is this meat okay? I don't know. I just am not good at picking out cuts of meat, and Butcher Box has made it so convenient because they ship like the highest quality cuts of meat right to our door. All I have to do is like cut open the box and put it in the freezer. Makes it so easy. Then I have to remember to thaw it. I mean, there is that little bit of effort involved that you then have to thaw
Yeah.
it.
It doesn't come thawed,
No.
ready to put in the grill.
No. But I love it because I know I can trust everything. 100% grass-fed beef, organic chicken, pork raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood, all humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones. And now that I've actually taken quality food more seriously since having a baby, and Remy's eating everything that we eat for the most part. So it's so nice to be able to trust the meat and the fish that I'm cooking and know that Remy can have it. And it's not something that mom thought was good at the store and picked out. So we've been loving Butcher Box, and they're offering our listeners one of their best deals yet, a 100% grass-fed chuck roast and a whole organic chicken free when you join, plus an additional $20 off your first box. And when I tell you, they have different packages, right? But when I opened up this box, I was like shocked. I was like, I'm going to have to get another freezer in the garage, which is something I've said for like a decade.
Crazy. And the quality is just amazing. Like you have, it has shined your inner chef. Like you're very self-deprecated when you said that you're a horrible cook, but you're an amazing cook. And with all those amazing meats.
Thanks to the meat. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/Fitish and use the code Fitish to get 100%, 100% grass-fed chuck roast and a whole chicken for free in your first box, plus $20 off. Again, that's butcherbox.com/Fitish and use the code Fitish to get this special deal. I love it. It's so great. I just love, if y'all have noticed this now, especially with sponsors of the show, but like I love things that make life more convenient, especially having a kid. But yeah, I was feeling sentimental yesterday a little bit. I had these maternity photos taken. I never shared them. And I think it's because I felt uncomfortable. I got maternity photos done way too late. We were reviewing them. It was like days before I ended up giving birth. And I don't know, I wanted to have them and I'm glad I did it. So I will say, take the pictures, get pictures taken, or just make sure you're taking a bunch on your phone. Take pictures. I did not feel like doing newborn photos. And I don't even know how some of y'all go through that. Like there was no way I was about to be putting on makeup and a dress and getting pictures taken of the baby. Like I was just not in that headspace. And part of me, I want to say I regret it, but I remember that's like saying I regret not working out more when I was pregnant. I didn't feel like it, right? Like I just definitely didn't feel like it. And we have plenty of photos on our phone. We're always reminiscing. And so, yeah, we may not have a photo of Remy in a bucket in a little hat, like a theme from a Disney movie.
Hate it.
No, we would have been sleeping and they're so funny and cute, but like we just didn't feel like it, right? Like we just didn't want to do it. We were really overwhelmed.
Baby. But yeah, no, I think you keep saying that you take them too late, those maternity pictures. You just look so
pregnant,
beautiful, like so beautiful, like glowing.
A whale, a glossy whale. No, but it's true. You're supposed to take the photos at like the 6 to 7 month mark. I mean, I was cooked.
You started showing like at 6 months.
That's why you're supposed to take them then.
Like you had like a mini pouch.
Oh no, I was big. I gained 55 pounds.
But you didn't seem that big. Like you looked like, I think it was the perfect
mostly in my
point.
ankles. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God, my ankles were so big. But yeah, I was just reminiscing a bit, and it's been really comforting because I wasn't sure. Even posting on social media has been weird because I'm a different person now than I was, right? And I realized like I'm not some like, I don't know. I don't get dressed every day. I happen to be dressed today because I had this like luncheon. But it was really just with one person, but I got myself a little bit dressed. But most days I think the moms get it. Like even me working, I don't want to put on makeup and do my hair. Like I'm in dirty sweatpants and that's just who I am now. And I'm not proud of it, but I've just come to grips with it. Like, this is who I am. Like, I'm not going to be posting cute fashion pictures every day because I don't get dressed every day. So who am I now? Who am I? Because I used to post cute stuff and I used to work out more and I used to do these things, right? But that's not who I am anymore. And I think it's hard when you have a lot of people that you don't know as well. And y'all know me that what do you like that I post? What do you like? And I know that sounds kind of weird, I guess, now that I'm saying it aloud, but I have learned lately that so many of you reach out to me because you're in this same area of life that I'm in. You know, you've either had kids, so you remember, or you're pregnant, or you're newly postpartum, and we're kind of on the same trajectory. And you have, I say you because this is kind of the common response that I get. You have found it refreshing that I'm really honest about kind of what I've gone through and what's been happening and our relationship issues and things of that nature. So I don't know. I just decided to share a maternity photo and posted a really annoyingly long caption about it to be kind of funny and just to be honest, because there were so many things I wish women had told me. Like, I kind of look back and go, what the fuck? Friends? Some of the few friends that I have that had kids before me, I'm like, you weren't going to tell me like all of these things that
I think
are
they're
really...
programmed to do that. I think you're
What do you mean?
backwired to so you
Programmed to do what?
to don't tell you, so you get
Who's
pregnant.
programmed?
Human beings.
I missed it. I missed the programming.
Yeah, you missed the
I'm not telling
programming.
people to not get pregnant. I just wish there were a handful of things that no one can prepare you. I know that's true. That's fair. I get it. No one can fully prepare you for this experience. But if someone had told me, hey, guess what? Your friends are going to change. You're probably not going to have the same friends anymore. And like, you're going to bleed a lot. It's going to be real weird, real intimate, real gross, or, you're going to like be really insecure with yourself for a while. You're going to feel like you're a bad mom. No one says any of that. People are like, you're going to be a great mom. You're going to love it. Like, you're going to be like, I never knew I could love something so much. I'm like, what? Okay. But like, what about all the other shit, And I just wish that this was talked about a little bit more, because the hard days are a lot harder than the good days are good, in my opinion, in the beginning, if that makes sense. Like, hard days are really hard. And then all of a sudden you'll have good days, but it's always like, bad memories sometimes.
What was the hardest part of the hard days? Like, what could have made in the last year a day hard? What was the hardest part?
I mean, I had days that I didn't brush my teeth the whole day. I didn't brush my teeth the whole day. I don't know why. I didn't brush them though. What do you mean? Hard days, I don't think that's what's so hard about men. Like, it's not a tangible thing about there's this like instance, like this was hard. Like I was tired and he wouldn't sleep and it was hard. It's this overall drowning feeling of, it's like I got hired to do the accounting for a Fortune 500 company when I don't even know how to add and subtract. Like, it's like I got thrown into this position where I used to wake up every day and be like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I'm good at doing my makeup. I'm good at like going and talking on a radio show because I've been doing this for years. I'm good at whatever I do every day, right? And then all of a sudden you are like home with this thing that you created and you're really terrible at it. And maybe some women are like, yeah, I'm great at this. This, like you said, I'm born to be a dad. Like, I never felt that I was born to be a mom. I think I'm going to be a great mom in a different way. I think I'm a great mom, but I'm also want to be great at other things, And so when I say it was hard, I just felt that this is the thing, Fran, you still went to work every day. You came home from that hospital, but literally within a couple days, you had started a new job. You were in the office in a suit every day. When I'm sitting here, teeth dirty, boobs leaking, trying to breastfeed a creature. I have milk coming out of my boobs. Like, the body's wild. Like, I've never done that before, and I'm almost 40 years old. And so I felt overwhelmed. Like, you still got a sense of normalcy for a while that I had to like work to get back to. And I just only recently even sort of feel like, I mean, I don't know. I don't even feel like the same person. So yeah, that's what's hard about it. That men, yeah, your life changed too, of course, but you still got to go to work every day. I didn't. And I wanted to, because work makes you feel normal. Doing something that you're good at and that you've been doing your whole life makes you feel normal. And that was hard for me, that I almost felt like I completely sacrificed my whole identity to bring life into the world. And I know it's kind of serious, but I guess it's hard to put into words, right? And I think that's what's so hard to communicate with your partner about. It's like, no, you can never fully understand it because of the hormones and the emotions and everything that we go through to have a baby. And yeah, now I'm better. But yeah, it's hard. And then a lot of women don't want to talk about it because they have these, like, you have these dark, intrusive thoughts. Like, I thought someone was going to throw the baby off the stairs every day. Why? Why would someone throw the baby off the stairs, right?
But I think that's.
But we all talk about it.
I think that's a thought that is. I'm pretty sure nobody talks about it because it's so dark.
It's so dark.
But I think
I have women that tell me they think that like the girl I had lunch with today was like, yeah, I had these intrusive thoughts that like someone was going to come into the house and take the baby in the middle of the night, so I couldn't sleep. You know, it doesn't matter what the intrusive thought is. All of our intrusive thoughts are wild, and you're sweating and you smell bad and you don't recognize your own body. Like I would look in the mirror and be like, you know, when you have the flu and you don't feel like you're in your own body a little bit, you know, how you feel like you have like a weird skin on. I don't know if you've ever been sick and felt that way. That's great. This is really nice to have this conversation as you're
no,
nodding
but
your
I
head
haven't.
no.
No, babe.
You've never been so sick that your skin feels weird?
I've been very sick, but I don't. I
That's one of
don't
those moments that
relate.
I'm like, does anyone listening right now know where I'm coming from? But that's kind of how it felt. Like you don't feel like you feel like it's an out of body experience. Have you ever taken an antidepressant? Have you ever done a drug and felt out of body? Have you ever done anything that felt like
yeah.
you're delayed and like you don't feel like you're in your body?
100%.
It feels like that times a million. Okay, so the drugs got you. Like you've done drugs where you don't feel like you're in your own body. Wonderful. So yeah.
That I see myself from the outside.
Kind of how it feels, but in a dark way. Like you don't feel like you don't recognize yourself. And so that's really challenging, you know? And I just feel like I wish that women were more comfortable talking about that more. I think we're getting to a place that women feel that way because by not talking about it, then men don't know how to cope with it.
Empower them, baby.
Then you don't know how to cope with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you come in and you're like, you depressed? I'm like, no, I'm just crying and feel weird and like my skin feels weird and I don't feel comfortable in my body. And you're like, you need me to change your diaper? And I'm like, yeah. Do you know what that conversation's like? I'm almost 40 years old and you're changing my diaper. It's weird.
Well, baby, it's not an everyday conversation.
It's not everyday conversation.
Those are the conversations that build you up.
But, you know, and then we go and do it again and again, right? Yeah, the girl I had lunch with today was like, you need to do it again right now.
Change your diaper and you still gave me shit about a fucking party bus. Gosh, ungrateful.
I was still in a diaper, I think, at that point.
No, you weren't on a diaper.
It was a...
You outgrow
your
diaper.
I tell you, every time I get a period now, I miss that diaper.
I bet.
It was so comfy. It made me feel safe. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked those. I'm going to bring... What?
And the last ones that your mom got you, they were actually sexy.
Were they? I'm going to bring them back. Screw tampons. I'm going to bring back the black cheeky diapers. What?
Am I still like I'm so tired that I might be in a dream right now.
You tired?
He said yesterday he woke up like at 3 and he went right back to bed.
He did?
Yeah.
With you in bed?
No, I put him back for a little bit.
In his crib?
Yeah.
Really?
And I couldn't sleep.
When did you put him back in his crib? Because I woke up with him headbutting me in the middle of the night and I went to the guest bedroom.
So he woke up at that when you jumped ship.
It was 4:30.
Like I woke up, rock him, was completely passed out.
Would you be willing for the people listening that have successfully done any kind of sleep training to give you some tips?
Absolutely.
DM Fran.
Just know about that. Do the Fitish account.
No, because I'm the one that reads those. DM Fran, and I'm not trying to say bully Fran because y'all know I want to sleep train and I know that it's really hard and he's been sick, but like Fran's always like, he's been sick. He had his ear infection. It's his birthday. And now we're getting to a point that like, it's hard because he's not going to sleep. And we're not sleeping because he wakes up at 2 or 3 a.m. and wants to get in bed with us. And Fran sleeps okay with him, but I don't. And now Fran's going out of town tomorrow. So that means it's on me all night that, yeah, I'm probably going to give in because he's going to scream in the middle of the night and I'm so tired and I don't know what to do because even if I do sleep train him tomorrow night, you're going to come back and not do it.
If you do a stream, do it tomorrow night. I'll do it the next day.
No, you won't. You say that every night. We're at over a year.
Well, because he's not sick anymore. It's not his birthday week.
Y'all DM Fran. Do not email me because we're on the same team. DM Fran all your advice. Or if you've done it the in-between, like not the hardcore sleep training, but maybe some other methods. I'd like to think maybe other people have used different methods. I've tried to tell you, the worst I've heard is it's like 2 nights with like an hour of screaming in segments and then they sleep and they figure it out. Fran will be like, he bumped his head. I heard it. He hit his head hard. I think he's passed out. I need to go check on him. Y'all, it's wild. He's fine. He'll be fine. I just think our quality of life is going to be better if we sleep train a bit. But I'm also getting to a point that I'm about to give in and be like, whatever, we're just going to sleep in separate beds for 5 years. If he slept better in bed, I'd actually not be as opposed to it. But last night, he was literally like headbanger's ball on my head. And I'm like, what? He was sound asleep. What the fuck is he doing? He's crazy.
He's crazy. Crazy boy. Look at him.
Are you going to be receptive if people email you?
100%.
Or are you just going to LOL it?
If you email me, email francisco.rizzo@element.com. Have a really good filter on that one.
You're going to add them to your real estate mailing
Yes.
mailing list. DM Fran on social. I don't care how many women slip into your DMs if they're talking to you about sleep training. All right. Well, I love you. I'm really looking forward to a life with no surprises. So thank you for
sorry?
I said I'm really looking forward to the rest of my life with no surprises.
Stability.
With you.
I'm going to give you stability.
Stability?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds thrilling. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
You're welcome. I see what's happening.
As always,
here.
Email me questions, info@fitish.com, or DM me, and then DM him about sleep training. And
you guys are a wonderful audience. Thank you for listening.
Why? Because they can't talk back to you right now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.